Hey everyone, and welcome to Right Side Broadcasting Network. Thank you so much for joining us on this stream. Today, I wanted to share with you guys how Hawaii is preparing for Category 4 Hurricane Lane, which is already causing tons and tons of rain. I think like 30 inches in some areas and 130 mile per hour winds. So I'm going to switch over and show you guys a live radar from one of our feeds. I believe this is the National Weather Service of the path of this hurricane so far. And I'm going to give you guys updates and just tell you what we have so far and how Hawaiians are preparing for this hurricane to possibly hit. So here you can see, we believe this is from the National Weather Service. And the hurricane is traveling northwest. And you can see it is closest right now to the Big Island, Hawaii. The very bottom island right there. And so I'm going to share with you guys some different information. I'm going to leave this up for you guys for a while, just so you can see just how massive it actually is. So I'm going to share with you guys an article. This is from Reuters News, and it came out just this morning. So Hurricane Lane threatening a direct hit as Hawaii's worst storm in a quarter century. Today churned toward Oahu, the island with the largest population, as schools, government offices, and businesses closed and residents stocked up on supplies. Packing sustained winds of up to 130 miles per hour or 215 kilometers per hour, Lane could dump 10 to 20 inches of rain, triggering flash floods and landslides, according to the National Weather Service, and more than 30 inches could fall in some places. And real quick, I'm going to Sorry about that. Had another video open there. But I'm going to switch back over to this feed just so you guys can see it. Okay, so the National Weather Service Central Pacific Hurricane Center in Honolulu said in an advisory, preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. And as early as of today, Lane was centered about 210 miles south-southwest of Kilauea, Kona, a town on the west coast of the Big Island, according to the National Weather Service. So it was classified as a powerful Category 4 storm on the 5-step Saffir-Simpson scale of hurricane strength. And the National Weather Service said the storm weakened slightly overnight, but excessive rainfall would affect the Hawaiian Islands into the weekend, leading to significant and life-threatening flash flooding and landslides. So more than a foot of rain has already fallen on part of the Big Island, according to the National Weather Service. And the center also warned of very large and damaging surf along the exposed west and south-facing shorelines, likely leading to significant coastal erosion. So they are going to see a lot of damage. And a hurricane warning was in effect for Oahu, Maui County, and Hawaii County, and the islands of Kauai and Niaha remained on hurricane watch and could face similar conditions starting Friday morning. So stay tuned tomorrow as we bring you updated coverage of the hurricane. And Governor David Ige has urged residents to take the threat seriously and prepare for the worst by setting aside a 14-day supply of water, food, and medicines. And I'm going to try to find that statement for you guys. I was able to see earlier, but I'm going to keep working through this first. So all public schools, University of Hawaii campuses, and non-essential government offices on the islands of Oahu and Kauai will be closed for at least 2 days starting today, according to the governor. So the shelves of a downtown Honolulu Walmart were stripped of items ranging from canned tuna to dog food, as well as bottled water and coolers full of ice after warnings of possible power outages. So an employee named Tao said, "I went to Safeway last night for regular groceries. Everyone was in a panic. And long lines of cars formed at gasoline stations in Honolulu, and people pulled small boats from the water ahead of the expected storm surge." And U.S. Navy ships and submarines based in Hawaii were instructed to leave port, a common practice when a hurricane approaches, to avoid damage. And President Donald Trump declared a state of emergency for Hawaii and ordered federal authorities to help supplement state and local responses, according to the White House today. So the most powerful hurricane on record to hit Hawaii was Category 4 Iniki, which made landfall on Kauai Island on September 11th, 1992, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and it killed 6 people and damaged or destroyed more than 14,000 homes. And over on the YouTube chat, we just got a $6.50 donation from Cell CNN for $1. Thank you, Cell. Really appreciate your donation. That'll be helpful for us to get to our next rally, and that's next Thursday. I know some of you asked over here on the YouTube chat. That is next Thursday in Evansville, Indiana, and it is going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned for that. And real quick, I'm going to try to find the governor's statement for you guys, and if you have any more information or articles about Hurricane Lane that I may not have said yet or might not be able to get to, make sure to send it to me over on Twitter at Alyssa RSBN, along with your comments and thoughts about this tropical storm. And this is from Global News. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. Make sure the sound is working okay.
To see the
Sorry about that, guys. We had a little audio issue there, totally my fault. So I am going to play that statement one more time for you guys, and you'll be able to hear it.
To see the effects of Hurricane Lane on Hawaii Island just recently. We still are, as you know, we began to see the effects of Hurricane Lane on Hawaii Island just recently. We still are expecting wind, rain, flooding effects that would affect statewide. We want to assure you that federal, state, and county emergency responders are working in coordination to keep the community safe and taking the necessary precautions to be prepared to respond to the impacts of Hurricane Lane. I just signed a request for a presidential disaster declaration. This allows us to pre-position the state should the need for federal assistance arise. Just want to remind everyone to be prepared to shelter in place. 14 days of food and supplies and water, medicine, other necessities that they would have. If you are asked to evacuate for any part of the storm, we remind people that they should be taking any medication and supplies that they may need in addition to food and water. And just really want to make sure that drivers do not venture out into severe weather once the storm arrives, and especially we do expect a lot of rain. Drivers should check conditions of roads because they could be closed at any point for health and safety reasons. And as always, people should not go through flood waters. Don't assume that you can make a safe crossing if water is crossing the highway. Visitors need to listen to the airlines, hotels, and media for updates and heed their advice. So if you have travel plans to the islands, you should make contact with your travel agency. Hotels are well prepared and have extensive hurricane plans to handle any crisis.
So you guys saw the statement from Governor Ige there, and I'm going to show you guys, I'm not sure which, and it doesn't look too bad right now. You can just see cloudy skies, but this is one of our feeds, one of the islands in Hawaii as they prepare for the hurricane. And I'm going to keep checking things for you guys to bring you updates. So some information from NPR that came out yesterday, actually. So Hurricane Lane has been downgraded to a Category 4 storm as it moves closer to Hawaii, according to the National Weather Service. And the National Weather Service says a hurricane warning is in effect for Maui and Hawaii, also known as Big Island, while the islands of Kauai and Oahu, where Honolulu is located, are under hurricane watch. And the Weather Service said the center of Lane will track dangerously close to the Hawaiian Islands from Thursday through Saturday. Regardless of the exact track of the storm center, life-threatening impacts are likely over some areas as this strong hurricane makes its closest approach. And a hurricane warning is usually made about 36 hours before tropical storm force winds are expected to hit a location. And according to the Associated Press, residents rushed to the grocery store and they filled up on bottled water, ramen, toilet paper, and other supplies. And Lane's maximum sustained winds were about 155 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service, but it will slowly weaken over the next 48 hours, but the agency cautioned Lane is forecast to remain a dangerous hurricane as it draws closer to the Hawaiian Islands. So the service said hurricane conditions are expected within warning area in Hawaii County today, while tropical storm conditions would affect the watch area starting today. So flash flooding and landslides are expected with total rain accumulations of 10 to 15 inches forecast. Certain areas of Hawaii may be deluged with more than 20 inches of rain. And according to the National Weather Service, large and potentially damaging surf will affect exposed shorelines facing the west, south, and east. And Hawaii Public Radio has a rundown of emergency phone numbers and guides for Hawaii residents preparing for the storm. And Hawaii County Mayor Harry Kim declared a state of emergency on the Big Island effective Tuesday morning. And Governor David Ige said an emergency proclamation Tuesday to provide relief for disaster damages, which you guys just saw, losses and suffering caused by the hurricane. And it declares the counties of Hawaii, Maui, Kilauea, and Kauai, and the city and county of Honolulu disaster areas for the purpose of implementing emergency management functions. So Hurricane Lane is not a well-behaved hurricane, according to Ige in a statement Tuesday. He said, "I've not seen such dramatic changes in the forecast track as I've seen with this storm, and I urge our residents and visitors to take this threat seriously and prepare for a significant impact." And state offices on Hawaii Island and Maui will be closed from yesterday through Friday. The governor announced that non-essential state employees in the two counties will be put on administrative leave. Also, all public and charter schools in the two counties will be closed Wednesday until further notice, according to the Hawaii State Department of Education. And longtime Hawaii residents were reminded of the destruction caused by Hurricane Iniki in 1992, according to Hawaii News Now, which made landfall on Kauai Island in September of that year as a Category 4 storm with 145 mile per hour winds. And like I said, that storm did take the lives of 6 people and caused $1.8 billion in damage, including to food crops, and destroyed or damaged thousands of homes and buildings. And Kauai resident Mike Miranda told the AP, "A lot of people are comparing the similarities between Iniki and Lane." He said, "I remember how very little rain fell, but I remember the wind being the strongest force of nature I've ever witnessed and probably the scariest sounds I've heard in my life." So definitely terrifying. Please keep the people of Hawaii in your thoughts and prayers as they expect Hurricane Lane. I'm going to bring you guys as much information as I can, and I'm going to show you, this is from the National Weather Service, another picture just depicting Hurricane Lane, color-coded in different areas. You can see right here that this island is under hurricane watch, the island of Kauai, and then Oahu, Molokai, Maui, Lanai, and Hawaii are all under hurricane warning. And you can see a tropical storm warning on this side. And also on the National Weather Service, they posted some hurricane preparedness tips too and hurricane safety. So I want to share those with you guys. So some different hurricane hazards. It says storm surge is the most abnormal rise of water generated by a storm's wind. This hazard is historically the leading cause of hurricane-related deaths in the United States. Storm surge and large battering waves can result in large loss of life and cause massive destruction along the coast. Storm surge can travel several miles inland, especially along bays, rivers, and estuaries. And flooding from heavy rains is the second leading cause of fatalities from landfalling tropical cyclones. Widespread torrential rains associated with these storms often cause flooding hundreds of miles inland. This flooding can persist for several days after a storm has dissipated, and winds from a hurricane can destroy buildings and manufactured homes. Signs, roofing material, and other items left outside can become flying missiles during hurricanes. Tornadoes can accompany landfalling tropical cyclones. These tornadoes typically occur in rain bands well away from the center of the storm, and dangerous waves produced by a tropical cyclone's strong winds can pose a significant hazard to coastal residents and mariners. These waves can cause deadly rip currents, significant beach erosion, and damage to structures along the coastline, even when the storm is more than 1,000 miles offshore. And here is another live feed for you guys from AccuWeather. And like I said, if you have any articles that I may have missed, please share them with me on Twitter at Alyssa RSBN. I will be checking those Twitter messages throughout this broadcast just to make sure there are no articles that I may have missed. Looks like I just got one from the British Patriot. I'm going to share with you guys. And this is from windy.com. Trying to pull it up. I know it's kind of hard to see over the lower third here at the bottom, but you can play it and see the projected path of the hurricane and how it is moving northwest. Thank you, the British Patriot, for sharing that with me. And I'm going to head back over to AccuWeather to show you guys the live feed. And British Patriot said it looks like it should subside by Monday. Yes, it is expected to come through mostly tomorrow through Sunday. And some more information from Fox News that I'm going to share with you guys. So Hurricane Lane lashing Hawaii's Big Island with heavy rain, landslides reported as state braces for the worst. So heavy rains from the outer bands of Hurricane Lane are pounding Hawaii's Big Island today, spawning flash flood warnings and landslides as residents across the state brace for the most powerful storm to hit Hawaii since 1992. And the National Weather Service's Pacific Hurricane Center said in its 11 a.m. Eastern advisory that Lane is still a Category 4 storm with winds of 130 miles per hour and is located about 305 miles south of Honolulu, traveling northwest at 7 p.m. And the CPHC said on the forecast track, the center of Lane will move very close to or move over the main Hawaiian Islands later today through Friday. Some weakening is forecast during the next day or so, with more significant weakening thereafter. Lane is expected to remain a hurricane as it approaches the islands. And the storm is already dropping heavy rain on the eastern side of the Big Island, with as much as 8 inches of rain being reported so far. So the Hawaii Police Department said Highway 19 has been blocked in multiple areas due to landslides. And according to the Hawaii County Civil Defense Agency, roadways are extremely hazardous due to debris and water on the roadway. And Fox News meteorologist Adam Klotz said as much as 20 inches of rain is expected on the Big Island. The outer rain bands will spread across all the other islands on Thursday. Winds will increase for residents as the storm approaches on Thursday. However, strong upper level winds will weaken the storm overall. And Lane is expected to weaken to a Category 1 storm with winds between 74 and 95 miles per hour by late Friday, but the track is still uncertain. So the hurricane has already triggered flash flood warnings on the Big Island, which closed several roads and caused rivers around Hilo to rise close to overflowing their banks. And Mia Carter, who lives in Orchardlands Estates south of Hilo, told KHON2 that the rain bands are more severe than what the area typically experiences. And she said right now the rain bands are very pronounced as they hit. 1 minute it's torrential downpour with almost zero visibility, and the next it is dry with clear skies. It's intensifying as the evening carries on. And officials opened shelters on the Big Island and on the islands of Maui, Molokai, and Lanai on Wednesday, but said the limited shelter should be a last resort, and they urged those needing to use the Molokai shelter to get there soon because of concerns on the main highway on the south coast of the island could become impassable. And over on the island of Oahu, which was put on hurricane watch late Wednesday, shelters were scheduled to open today. Officials were also working to help Hawaii's sizable homeless population, many of whom live near beaches and streams that could flood. And Hawaii County Major Harry Kim told the news organization that flash flooding is a major concern as Lane is expected to slowly move northwest and bring heavy rain to the island. And Mayor Harry Kim told KHON, when there's rain, there's obviously problems, but surf and surge, because we're a tourist industry here and people live by the beach, hotels all by the beach. We have thousands of people along the coast area, and this hurricane has the potential of generating some very huge surf and surge. So the Federal Emergency Management Agency has several barges with food, water, and supplies that it moved into the region ahead of Hurricane Hector, which skirted past the islands more than a week ago, according to FEMA Administrator Brock Long. And President Trump approved an emergency declaration for Hawaii on Thursday, which allows FEMA to coordinate all disaster relief efforts. So the U.S. Navy said Wednesday that it was moving its ships and submarines out of Hawaii, adding all vessels not currently undergoing maintenance were being positioned to help respond after the storm if needed. And the Central Pacific gets fewer hurricanes than other regions, with about only 4 or 5 named storms a year. For Hawaii, the big one came in 1992, and I know I already mentioned this to you guys, and I'm sure you're aware of it, when Hurricane Iniki struck the island of Kauai as a Category 4 storm, causing $3.2 billion in damage and killing 6 people. And Iniki is the costliest and deadliest storm to hit the islands in recorded history, and only 2 other hurricanes, an unnamed storm in 1871 and Dot in 1959, have hit a Hawaiian island in that time period. And I want to check Twitter too, just to see what Hawaiians are tweeting about Hurricane Lane. I want to try to find some updated videos and pictures for you guys, so stay tuned. And if you are there and you've already seen just tons of rain, torrential downpour coming down, send pictures and video to me on Twitter at Alyssa RSBN. Would really love to share those with everyone. So you can see some people, Beth Stoll, sharing a little graphic out about hurricane preparedness. That's so great. It says, have an evacuation plan, review your insurance coverage, protect your property, create a home inventory, and put together an emergency kit. And that is from State Farm. And that's sweet. Someone posted a picture of their dog out the window, who said someone's keeping his own hurricane watch more than 24 hours before it's expected to hit. He's reporting light rain and winds. And this was just a minute ago. And Victoria Mopez said, please prepare and stay safe. Store up on non-perishable food. Have a gas stove and generator if you can. If you can get one that runs on less gas, even better. And you can see people in anticipation of the hurricane are boarding up their businesses. This is Long's Drugs RX. You can see they are boarded up with wood just to protect those windows and glass doors. And this is from Hawaii Electric Light. They said, due to unsafe weather conditions from Hurricane Lane, our customer service and engineering offices will be closed to walk-in customers today. Heavy, steady rain has caused flooding and landslides landslides, resulting in some road closures. And you can see the heavy winds there and the water just coming up close to the shore. And this is from AJ Plus, and you can see a really scary picture of Hurricane Lane here. They said Hawaii closed schools and businesses and told residents to stock 14 days worth of food, medicine, and water. As Hurricane Lane prepares to make landfall, it's expected to be the state's worst storm in 25 years, with possible flash floods and landslides. Sorry, I was trying to show you guys a video of all the rain coming down, but it had an ad real quick. But you can see right here just how much rain there is as cars are driving through it in Hawaii. And Levi Cohen tweeted out the weather too, and they said, "We're entering the last certain part of Lane's forecast. The longer the inner core holds together in the face of shear, the closer to Hawaii the storm is likely to track. This matters for both the wind and flooding threats. A direct landfall is not off the table. Be prepared." And it looks like someone posted a video of Hilo this morning. And you can see it is just absolutely pouring. And that is from Jeff Dale Photo. Thank you for that if you happen to be watching. And people tweeting out "Pray for Hawaii" graphics, and I see a lot of you commenting that as well. Thank you so much for that. And another video someone tweeted out. Crystal, she said, "Lane is relentless. So much water out here. I'm glad we have good drainage. My neighbor's yard across the way is all flooded. Grateful we aren't experiencing high winds." And this is off the Big Island, Hawaii, off the Hanakua coast. So you could see all the just rain there. And I know many of you were commenting, take down your flag. Definitely a good suggestion. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they saw this if they happen to be watching this broadcast. And I know many of you were asking, how will Hurricane Lane impact the volcano Kilauea? I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to switch over real quick. But I will keep this AccuWeather if I can find it. There we go. The AccuWeather feed up so that you are able to see the path of the hurricane. And the Hawaiian Islands are right up here, outlined in pink. I know it's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to go through with you guys. This is an article from express.co.uk about how Hurricane Lane will affect volcano Kilauea. So as you know, Hawaii is at risk from Hurricane Lane, which is currently whipping around the Pacific with winds greater than 110 miles per hour. I know one article said it was already at 155 miles per hour. So the island chain is at risk from its second major hurricane this year, the latest blow in a number of natural disasters, which have included the Kilauea volcano eruption. And at the moment, Kilauea has calmed down almost to a stop with both fissure and summit activity low. However, authorities warn the volcano could still erupt at any minute, but could Hurricane Lane provoke another explosion? So Hurricane Lane has been on direct course for Hawaii for a while, but recent changes means winds could just glance the Big Island. At the moment, Lane is positioned to pass within a hair's breadth of the island, bringing inclement but not severe weather with it. So currently, the hurricane is advancing into the Pacific Basin, pulling maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour with it. So on this Saffir-Simpson scale, Lane is a Category 4 hurricane, the second most severe a hurricane can be. However, as the hurricane moves further into the Pacific, there is a gradual weakening predicted commencing this Sunday. So there are no coastal watches or warnings in effect and no notices of hazards affecting land. However, the hurricane has presented with winds that extend up to 25 miles per hour from the center. So again, the question I started out with, could Hurricane Lane trigger the Kilauea, I want to say it right, volcano? So Hurricane Lane's path is not currently set to hit 4 big islands where Kilauea resides. So high winds will grace the southernmost tip of the island, and Hawaii's most active volcano is in with a chance of receiving a thrashing of rain. And as it dips into the region, the hurricane will bring with it some low pressure, which has been debated as a potential cause for eruptions. And scientists are still at odds over the effects of a hurricane on volcanic activity, as low atmospheric pressure is thought to have an impact on eruptions. And there's much yet to be discovered about this unique interaction, so that no effects from Lane have been predicted just yet. And despite Kilauea's relative quiet, there's still every chance it could start up again of its own volition. And Hawaii County warned reactivation could occur at any time with little to no warning. And Glenn Miguel Matsumoto, wow, said Alyssa watching from Hawaii. Thank you for the updates of this incoming hurricane. Thank you so much, Glenn, for watching, for tuning in. If you have any updates, any weather around your home that you see, anything that may have already been, destroyed, or just heavy rains or winds, please send video to @AlyssaRSBN on Twitter. That would be much appreciated to help us out. And I know many of you are now commenting that you're praying for Glenn over here on YouTube. Thank you so much. And sharing Bible verses too. Thank you, Matt Everett. Really appreciate it. And wanted to shout out, one of our reporters is in the chat room, Tom O'Neill. Thank you so much for being here. And we just got back late last night. I got to Auburn at it was almost 1 in the morning because we drove 8 hours from, oh my gosh, where were we? I can't even remember. Charleston, West Virginia. And then we were at the airport to get our rental car. So it was a couple hours there, just returning it and everything at the Atlanta airport. So it took a long time to get back. And then, of course, I drove 2 hours back from Atlanta to Auburn. So very long day, but we had a great rally. We had a great stream. It was almost perfect with our new camera. So I wanted to shout out and say thank you so much, everyone who donated, who made it possible for us to go to Charleston, West Virginia for that President Trump rally, where he actually endorsed Attorney General Patrick Morrisey for Senate, who's running against Joe Manchin. So thank you to everyone who watched our rally just 2 days ago. It was a lot of fun, who watched that pre-show, that post-show with us. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for that. Yes, Tom, it was lots of fun. So thank you to everyone that watched, that donated. And maybe if you're not sure how you can donate, I can tell you real quick. So a little bit of background about RSBN. If you're not familiar, we are a conservative news station, but we try to be non-biased, to bring you both sides, just to bring you the facts and let you guys make your decisions, with the facts, of course. And then we get to go to presidential rallies all around the country. They're a lot of fun. We have one just next Thursday in Evansville, Indiana, that we are excited to go to. And so to donate, to actually make it possible for us to go to these rallies and to bring you live coverage all day long, there are a few different ways you can donate. One of them is super easy right here on YouTube. All you do is click the $sign at the bottom of the chat here on YouTube. That is the super chat. And you're able to donate here. It comes up in a bright color with your name, and I'll share your message with everyone, of course, as long as it's appropriate. And you can also donate over by going to our website, rsbnetwork.com. And I will pull that up for you guys and show you the different ways you can donate in case you're not sure. So you go to our website, rsbnetwork.com, and at the very top, you click donate. And then you can see the different ways here on YouTube that you're able to donate. One of them is with PayPal or a credit card. You can just click right there. and you just enter your amount. Of course, if you already have a PayPal account, you can just log in and you enter your debit or credit card information, that billing address, and your contact information. And you can also give a monthly donation if you feel, you know, more invested with RSBN, you really like what you're seeing here. If you really like what you're seeing here, we would love to share it with you guys. We'd love to, you know, continue sharing it with you guys as much as we can. We want to keep broadcasting and stay on the air. So anyways, you know, if you feel a little more invested with RSBN, you can donate on Patreon, where you can become a patron and donate monthly, and you can get things like, you know, hats, pens, pencils in returns, and you know, it's a lot of fun, and stickers too, and t-shirts, different things that say RSBN, just so that you can remember us. So anyways, you can become a patron here on Patreon, and that is Patreon with an E. And going all the way from the entry level to the all access level if you want to donate $500 or more a month. So we really appreciate all our patrons who keep us on the air. And the last way to donate, I'm going to throw this up for you guys. And I know many of the fantastic moderators. I see Barbara Brayley and Real Frank in Florida on here. Thank you so much. Have been commenting that address. So if you prefer to donate the old-fashioned way, you can send a check to RSBN and write it out to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344 in Auburn, Alabama 36830. So that's how you can donate. Thank you so much, moderators, for sharing that. Really appreciate you guys. And, you know, huge shout out to all of our moderators in the chat room that keep the chat room clean, that provide people with information. We really appreciate you guys. And also our moderators over on the website, Common Sense, Glenn O, and Rakulp. Really appreciate you guys. And I actually got to meet Common Sense at the last rally as everyone was lined up in the mall in Charleston, which was so funny. People were actually lined up in the mall, but it was really nice for the rally, you know, because it wasn't as hot. So we didn't have to face weather for that, and neither did they. So that was definitely a blessing. And like I said, it was such an honor to meet Common Sense. And we just received a $5 donation from Larry Stokes. Thank you so much, Larry. Really, really appreciate you. And I'm going to switch back over to that live radar on AccuWeather so that you guys can see that. Okay, and I'm going to try to find more information for you guys about Hurricane Lane, so stay tuned. Like I said, if you have any questions about the hurricane, comment them right here on YouTube, and I will do my best to find the answer. And you can message me on Twitter at Alyssa RSBN. And I'm going to keep refreshing Twitter just to make sure you guys don't have any new messages you've sent me. And I'm going to check our feeds just to make sure there's nothing new. Okay, nothing new yet, so I am going to throw that radar back up for you guys. So some new information from Newsweek. When will Hurricane Lane hit Honolulu/Oahu? Hawaii path update. So as the Hurricane Lane path forecast sharpens, odds are increasing that populous Hawaii island Oahu and its largest city Honolulu could take a direct hit or a close hard brush from the Pacific storm. So the latest forecast updates from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center on Wednesday suggested that Hurricane Lane will make its push north a bit later than originally anticipated, meaning it could get closer to Oahu than the forecast showed a day or two ago. And the Central Pacific Hurricane Center said its most reliable global models, the ECMWF and GFS, suggest this northern turn may happen a little later than previously forecast. Thus, the track forecast has been shifted to the northeast between 48 and 72 hours to be in better agreement with global models. And that means that Oahu may be at greater risk. Thus, many on the island may want to know, when will Hurricane Lane hit Honolulu? And the initial Hurricane Lane impact of significance could begin on Friday. According to AccuWeather, Lane is forecast to get as close as 80 miles southwest on Oahu Friday afternoon. And the latest forecast from CPHC suggests that Hurricane Lane will approach the Honolulu area by sunrise Saturday morning, being very close to the island by 8 a.m. this Saturday. And further Hawaiian Lane track forecasting from the Weather Channel late today shows the storm would be just on the western tip of Oahu by 11 a.m. HAST Saturday. So Honolulu, the capital of Hawaii, is on the south shore of Oahu and is likely to be exposed to high surf and heavy rains from the storm, even if it does not make a direct strike. And the population of Honolulu is more than 350,000 and hosts tens of thousands of visitors each week. And the Weather Channel reported, if Lane turns sharp enough northwestward or even northward along the northern or eastern side of its forecasted projected path, damaging winds from the hurricane's core could swipe parts of the islands, in addition to torrential rain from the core and more damaging coastal flooding from both the setup of battering waves and water for those areas prone to water rise. And the other question residents and visitors in Oahu may naturally ask, related to the storm, is how strong will Hurricane Lane be when it hits Honolulu? And the latest Hurricane Lane forecasts show the storm approaching Oahu at hurricane strength, likely as a Category 1 storm or small Category 2 storm. And the Weather Channel's last track shows Hurricane Lane at 75 miles per hour by Saturday afternoon, when it would be on the western side of Oahu. Thank you so much. Over on YouTube, Sweet P007 said, I'm in Iwa Beach, Oahu, and we are being told from officials to hang tight late Friday and into Saturday. Thank you so much, Sweet Pea, for commenting and for telling us that you're there. We will be praying for you and your family. So it is uncertain if Hurricane Lane will make a direct strike on the island. The Big Island was getting heavy rain from the slow-moving storm on Thursday, with some areas having 11 inches already before sunrise, so the risk is high even if a direct hit isn't made. And the good news on the overall storm strength, however, is that Hurricane Lane has likely reached its peak intensity, according to forecasters. In Weather Underground reports from Friday into the weekend, we expect Lane to undergo a more sustained weakening. The pace will be controlled mainly by wind shear, which will increase dramatically by Friday night, and how closely Lane passes to any of the islands, a variable that is still impossible to nail down with certainty at this point. And the CPHC forecast at 11 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday predicted that Lane would weaken to a Category 2 strength by early Friday and to strong tropical storm strength by early Saturday. So stay tuned as we watch Hurricane Lane, what it will become, and how and if it will even hit Hawaii. Okay, and I'm checking for information, but I think, unfortunately, that's all I have for you guys right now on Hurricane Lane. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys, and we will be bringing you guys updates tomorrow. So stay tuned. Also, stay tuned tonight for my nightly news recap. It is going to be a lot of fun at 8 p.m. Eastern, and possibly some streams before that during the day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate each and every one of you, and really praying for those Hawaiians right now that are just waiting for the impact of Hurricane Lane to see whether it will hit or not. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and thank you for your donations. Really appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for more news throughout the day. And once again, for Right Side Broadcasting Network, I'm Alyssa Ashe. Thanks for tuning in.